Hey guys, Major Dodo here with a live recording showing you guys how to fix up gaps in resin miniatures. We are doing this live on stream and we're going to be working on Brock, which was sent to us by his makers, Gunmeister Games, makers of Judgment. And I thought I would record this and stream it at the same time. Give you guys a little hand with some of the common issues you get with resin miniatures. In this case, little gaps like this. Yes, Valor Steel. It's a good thing all my videos are also marked for mature audiences. And my stream. There should just be like a little label. It's just like M-A-R, Jesus Christ. Chibi Minis, that's not very nice. Hello to you too. Yeah, basically. That's right. No, Chibi Minis, it's a joke in love because that's basically what I'm normally like. So this is Hobby Light. It's a balsa wood plane filler. Or like use it for doing planes. It's got a texture. Oh, I have trouble explaining. It's like icing, like frosting. And family show. I think Flick thinks he's on his stream again. But it's all right, Flick. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bit of this stuff, and basically, we're going to lose all feeling in our fingertips from super glue still stuck on there, and I'm just going to like shove it. Make sure you get this on camera. Make sure I get this on camera. I don't have a camera. Freaking hell. Do this. Just like, I've seen people use like tools and stuff, but at the end of the day. And then what I was doing before was I was getting my big brush, dropping it, and I'm just kind of like pushing it like this, because if you brush it, it's going to come out again. You don't want that. You want it to shove it into there, and you can do multiple layers. The awkward part, because it's not like green stuff. You know, it's not sticky so much. It can be awkward to work with. After all, it is meant for filling up gaps in balsa wood planes. The smaller gaps I'm going to fill up with... I was joking, shithead. Ooh, ooh. Alright, Fleet. Alright. Oh, I'm trying to remember, like, get a little another pinch and just like... And it's a bit like green stuff though, in the sense that, you know, if you screw up completely, you can just like throw water on it and wash it off. But I'm just going to keep tap it in. You just got to tap it in and brush it off his shoulders and get it off his face. And then get some more here. This isn't the only way to do it. This is just with large gaps. I find this is the easiest way for me. As always, take everything I do with a grain of salt. Salt seems to be in common supply here tonight. Flickstar. Valor Steel. I was going to rain and ended up in shorts and a singlet. I'm in shorts and a singlet most days. I've tried to stop myself this year from wearing a singlet on stream because no one wants to see that. Especially not on a YouTube video. It's bad enough everyone's going to see me in a maid outfit in a few weeks' time. Oh, I meant to get the measurements done for that today. Shit. Because apparently, circus tent isn't an accepted measurement for when shopping for maid costumes. You're expected to have things like your waist and your hips and that kind of stuff. And not just like effing huge. Seriously, imagine an elephant is wearing this outfit, size it to suit. Apparently that's not an accepted size. So I think this is almost enough. Just gonna keep like I generally find, so what I'll do is I'll use this stuff, which will fill in the bulk of the gap. If you saw me working on the Gorm for Kingdom Death, I did the same thing. Use this stuff to fill in the bigger gap, and then just kind of like You don't want to leave it on the areas that you don't want it. I mean, you can smooth it down, but alright. Do you want to make sure you get it all off him? Not a singlet if a strap shirt, a sleeveless one. Singlet? Is that like a onesie? It's called a stringer too in gym words. Yeah, or a wife beater. We call it a wife beater. Over here, the classic blue singlet, which I've got like 3 million of them, which is even worse. It's just like chubby, bearded Australian with a blue singlet. It's just like automatically called the domestic violence hotline on them. That's basically the trope over here. That's the stereotype. That's why they call them a wife beater. It's this massive stereotype over here. So that's the bulk of it filled in. I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing left outside of those areas that could texture the model. I mean, as I said, you can sand it down. You can. Now, really, normally you're gonna leave this air dry. I'm just gonna blow it on a bit because I'm lazy and it's quick and we need to do a YouTube video. Then I'm gonna get liquid green stuff. This is probably gonna be the controversial item on the guide, and that's because not everyone likes it. And when I say not everyone likes it, I mean there's the people that are just like, yeah, it's alright, and then there's everyone else that tell you it is AIDS. It's a massive stereotype in most places. Got your layer costume yet? Yeah, Flix is dressing up in the layer costume. He's gonna have the tasteful white long dress with the buns. Silver, you know, laser pistol. I can already see it now. So I'm gonna be so we got liquid green stuff here. This is Games Workshop. Other companies also have liquid epoxies. And I'm going to dab this along this join up the top. Now, one of the reasons people don't like liquid green stuff is that it shrinks. Personally, I like that it shrinks. It is also somewhat of a paint. It's got paint pigment in it, I believe. I don't know. I'm not an expert on everything. But you can paint straight over it. But because it thins out, you can play with it like you can with paint. So if you got it too thick in some areas, you can basically stick a bit of water on your brush and just like thin out the joins, push it back, push it into gaps you want to get it, move it from areas like that. You can scrub it off. At the end of the day, you can scrub it off with a toothbrush if you don't want it. So I don't mind it because it is thin enough that normally it's not going to obscure detail, which is something I'm always worried about. And it's not as stressful afterwards, but some people don't like it because they have to do multiple layers. They complain, they're like, oh, I've got to do like 3 layers to fill in a gap. And I've never said that. You're literally making it up. Correct. I know, I'm still waiting for the real thing, which was Flick doing the German slap dance in his lederhosen. Jan loves the idea, but Jan also dressed up as Chun-Li, so he's not exactly a reliable, unbiased source. Actually, I can't talk. I'm dressing up as an anime maid, but that's beside the point. We are, hopefully, that's going to be first weekend in November, which is Cup Holiday over here, but that's going to provide on ye old Australian Post Service, which, as we know, is world-renowned, reliable postal service. It's won the Postal Service of the Year award 22 years running. Postal Service of Australia of the Year, specifically publicly owned Postal Service of the Year. Running unopposed. Oh, the parcels I've gotten from Aussie Post over the years. Lies! Morning Teague, how's it going as well? We're doing a live recording of some patching on his arm. Now, it is also okay to prime over this and then go back if you see, because obviously priming shows up a lot more gaps sometimes. You can go back and fix it and it's fine, and you can even paint straight over it if you want. As I said, it is pigmented, it is fine, it's just you've got that green tinge underneath. So if you're doing a lump as well, you can just get a bit of like a wet brush like I am, and just kind of move it around the edges, and then you want to let it dry between each layer. And the thing is, as it dries, it'll soften, like it'll go from a liquid like it is now to a bit more malleable, and you can press it in with your brush like I did on the one we were working on earlier, which I will show you guys, and that'll help press the muscles in. So eventually it's going to look something like this. So the one on the left is one I've already done the exact same way. I filled in the majority of the gap with some Hobby Light to fill in the hole, to give the body. If you do just straight liquid green stuff, it's just going to sink in there and disappear, and you're going to be scooping the stuff in there. The Hobby Light is a simple, like, you saw how much I was using. I was using a tiny pinch, and I've got this massive container sitting here. I bought it from the US for like $8 Australian plus postage. And this is lasting me. It is still, I bought this 8 months ago, I think, and it is still not dried out. I just keep it shut and sealed tight. Open it up, put it back. I like the look of a plain mini. They are, look, they're fantastic. I'm going to be doing a lot more with him. He's going to be getting tattoos and everything. This was just the starting coats. I was impatient. I wanted to do. But there you go. So you can see it does start to dry, and the muscle definition stays there. It doesn't fill up the gaps in between, which is very important, I find, especially if you're doing even finer detail, because it's thin. You can add water back, you can just clean off the areas. It's really easy to just get the area you want and to soften it up and sink it in without losing the detail around the edges. But that's my personal view. I know a lot of people are just like, I just use green stuff. I'm like, sure, you have fun with your 2-part epoxy, just, you know, mix it, press it in, do it. No, I'm just going dip, paint, done. But otherwise, there's not a lot of cleanup with these guys. And I didn't pin. With the other models, we'll see when we eventually get them. We'll see if there's any more pinning and stuff. We can cover that if we need to pin stuff. But otherwise, that was the only issue with this guy. Otherwise, superb model. You will notice a slight difference. So the cleanup on this one, on the sword, I stuffed up a little bit, and it was going to be flattened off. So I literally just jabbed him with a knife and cut it out so it looked like a broken kind of chain handle. Instead of a ring, just a broken one. I did the same thing for the same reason on this piece of chain hanging from his axe. So now it just looks like a broken chain link. Otherwise, it's great. Like also, don't cut this off. This is blood from the dead werewolf head. Werewolf head? No, it's the wolf. I think it's the shadow wolf or the gloom hound, which is one of the neutral monsters. I think it's the only neutral monster they have released so far. But yeah, there you go. Just a quick and easy guide, easy example to fill in gaps on resin models when you get them. If you get gaps like that, takes 2 seconds, easy to do, and very cheap. Like this will cost you the same price as a normal paint and will last you ages. If you start to notice it drying out, just put a little bit of water in the container, in the pot. Shake it a bit and the water will freshen it up a bit. And then the other thing I used was Hobby Light filler. This is the white one. I think the other one is safe to use as well. You're going to be priming over it. It's the same stuff, just a different color, because this is the I think this has got the white on it, or it says white somewhere, or whether they had a different name. I don't know. I'm real good at explaining things. But you can get this. Did you have to use the liquid green stuff? I used, well, we're basically one layer for this. It does somewhat come down to experience as well. You learn, the more you use it, you can just you can put extra on because you know it's going to shrink. I only did one layer. And I think I can see like a very slight line, which I'm going to do another little layer before we finish. But otherwise, yeah, it depends on the size of the gap and stuff. That's why I find using the Hobby Light to fill in the majority of it. You're then using the liquid green stuff basically to smooth that over and just to smooth down the definition. Of other models, I've done several layers of liquid green stuff, and it's a patience thing. But then it's just like I get it out, I do a bit, I put it back, let it dry, and I come back. This side's fine, down here's fine, it's just that little lip. But yeah, I found like over time I started to use more because I knew, like, all right, if I put a big lump of it and I put the majority of the mass in the center, it's going to shrink a bit, and then as it shrinks, I can, you know, water it down a little bit and play around with it. But that's it, you know. He's done. I will prime him when I get some white spray paint this week, and he'll be ready to go for next week. I may fill in around here, but you can't see the peg. I think we put a little bit of sand or something in there just to hide where he sits on the base. But fantastic. Like, he's going to be so much fun he's going to be fun doing a one-day paint of. I'm having fun painting my one as well, which will be getting the full treatment, tattoos, a little bit of red in the beard, because why not? And yeah, so I will be also putting a link in the description of the video, and I'm going to be putting it in chat now, where you can find your own copies of this. They are available for order. They've just finished shipping wave 1 of the Kickstarter, which is awesome. A starter set is also coming out soon, so that'll be great to get on. I'm very much looking forward to that. And that ends the live recording part of the stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Check out the other videos, click subscribe, and I will catch you next time.